Hi, this is Jill, Healthcare IT Specialist with Easy Tech Compliance, collaborating with KMC University to answer some of the help desk questions that are coming in. But this one's going to be a long one because what we want to teach you to do is teach you how to fish. A lot of people have been talking about the new security rule. They've been stressed thinking that maybe KMC University hasn't updated them on the new rule. And then it doesn't help when there's articles printed that talks about the new security rule and what you need to be doing. So we're going to teach you some information. First of all, the first thing, of course, is KMC University. Sign into your dashboard. Any updates will be here. So we're at the dashboard, and this over here is any announcements and updates. But the other thing is to go to the source. So I'm just going to open this new tab, and I'm going to type in HHS HIPAA. There you go. You can see it. And so I'm going to go to HIPAA Home. And obviously, when I'm looking at this, look at that HIPAA security rule. So that's the hot topic right now. But I'm going to go over to HIPAA professionals because that's what we are, right? The doctors are going to be the professionals. And then look here to the left. I'm navigating on the left side of the HHS site. And I'm going to go to security, open that up. And there it is, security rule NPRM. So I could get that on my homepage, but I could also get it here. NPR means Notice of Proposed Rule Making. So yes, the government put out rules for sure. The government has put out rules stating that there's going to be some changes to the security rule. We got the privacy rule and the security rule. So definitely there's going to be some things happening here. And so they make a proposed rule. So to help you understand the rulemaking process, it's important to know each step and where this particular one is at. So we have the publication of the proposed rule. Well, that was publicized. That was put on the Federal Register, and that's why it's called the NPRM. But then it has a comment period. So let's look at that. Federal Register is where the rule is, and there it is, HIPAA security rule. What's the intent? Strengthening cybersecurity. Is it going to impact us as doctors? Absolutely. If you want to stay proactive, that's great because this started in January, meaning started as a proposed rule, not a final rule. And there is the comment period. So right here, we're looking at a comment period. And I believe there's over 4,000 comments currently that were submitted. So in the rulemaking process, the comment period is stakeholders. It's actually hospitals, doctors. They can say, hey, I read over the rule. This is not realistic for us, or you've overlooked some things, or what would you do in this scenario? So that's the comment period. Then there is the public inspection of comments. They got to look at them all. They got to read them. And then the analysis. This is where it's summarized and they start preparing the final rule. And the last step is the publication of the final rule. Once the final rule is published, then we got to start following the rules. We got to get to know it. We got to start implementing it, because then there'll be enforcement periods. Enforcement is where they'll start penalizing you for not following the rules. So if we go back to our HIPAA for professionals, we're right here. Now we know what the security rule notice for the proposed rule is, but I want to know what I'm responsible for now. So you go to the summary of the security rule right here, and notice it says this summary addresses the security rule that is currently in effect. If you want to learn about that proposed modifications, here's the link. So in other words, you want to be proactive and start thinking about what's coming around the corner? Absolutely. Build your processes thinking that most of it will become the final rule. But if you really want to know what the current rule is, it's all right here. I don't want to give you a headache, but everything is listed on this page. So they even have security guidance and then cybersecurity guidance. So yes, there's information out there, but when it comes to that NPRM, it's not final. So even though these articles have good intentions, they create almost a hysteria of especially with our help desk going, wait a minute, am I supposed to be doing this or that? So some of the things we've heard is one, you have 15 days now to respond to a breach or report a breach. 15 days to report a breach. Well, let's see what the government says. So I'm going to take you over and I'm going to just type in breach notification HHS. Wow, I'm right here. I'm at the definitions. Breach notification rule. That's the rule. So this is the government out of the horse's mouth. Notice it says these individual notifications must be provided without unreasonable delay and in no case no later than 60 days. So this 15 days you have to report your breaches, that's not how the security rule stands right now in 2025 in September. So until it's final, we don't want to create hysteria. The other thing we've heard a lot is that, oh my goodness, I have to contact all my business associates and I technically have to audit their security systems. We've actually heard people saying that I should be able to do a vulnerability scan on your systems and I need an official report stating where you are as far as HIPAA compliance, your risk assessments, and things of that nature. So let's go ahead. Let's look at business associates, and we're on that page 2 of the Health Information Privacy Rules. There is a new fact sheet that was published, and this is called Direct Liability of Business Associates. This is really relates to that Change Healthcare where sometimes the business associates feel like I don't have to be as compliant as a provider does. We only once in a while touch the PHI. So they kind of let them know, hey, covered entities, doctors, and hospitals have to implement all of these safeguards for HIPAA. Guess what? You vendors, you business associates, you're equally responsible for that standard. So it's really holding them to the fire. But when it comes to what your responsibility is to HIPAA as a covered entity, right there, the privacy rule requires that covered entity obtain satisfactory assurances. So think about that. Satisfactory assurances can be a lot of different things, but according to this, it's in the form of a contract or agreement. So get a business associate agreement signed and make sure you looked over the terms of use so that you're keeping your end of any shared responsibility as far as configurations, integrations, and things of that nature. But right now, as it stands, you're not responsible for auditing your vendors and getting these official statements and certifications or anything like that. Should you really look into your vendors and how they're handling information? Should you really see if they're HIPAA compliant? Absolutely. But when it comes to any legal processes, that's not where we're at. So, as a recap, when it comes to understanding the security rule, go to the source, HHS site. Check the Federal Register. If it's not a final rule, that means that it's not being enforced. It's not ready yet. So can we get some guidance from the NPRM? Absolutely. Should you make some of those changes? That's advantageous. But making hard facts and statements that are not true is very concerning to KMC University. So we just want to get it out there. We want to stamp down this misinformation and help you find where the true resources are. And as always, if you feel like, oh my goodness, I looked over the current security rule, I'm not doing those things. I haven't done a risk assessment, a HIPAA risk assessment ever, or I haven't done one in years. Well, then let us evaluate your HIPAA compliance. You can go to our website and go into the compliance courses, HIPAA resources and training, and pick the course, evaluate your HIPAA compliance. It's kind of a way to kind of just look at yourself in the mirror. But if you want a HIPAA specialist to look at your program and give you a detailed report on what needs to be fixed, take advantage of our free KMC University HIPAA assessment. And as always, if you have questions that are really specific and you need some guidance, book a consultation with one of our HIPAA specialists at KMC University. And thanks again for reaching out to the help desk.